Hi there guys, and welcome to video number 79. This video is one of the hardest things that you're going to do in all of maths. This is some grade 9 stuff, and it's harder completing the square, and I've chucked in the vertex as well. Last video in the algebra section. So the key word here is vertex. Now the vertex is the minimum point of the graph or the maximum point of the graph, depending upon what the quadratic is that you're given. If it's a positive value of a, i.e. the number in front of the x squared is positive, then it would be the minimum point. And if that number was negative, then it would be the maximum point that you'd be finding. But I will explain a little bit further when I do the examples. Method. This is for finding or working out what the completed square looks like when it's a harder one, where a is not equal to 1. So take out the factor of whatever number is in front of the x squared term from each of the terms in the expression. Complete the square as normal, but you will most likely have to deal with some fractions. Use fraction rules if you do. Multiply each term back through by the factor you took out at the beginning. And then to find the vertex, you use the completed square. Okay, so I'll do that in the first question because this is not a harder one, this is a normal one, right? I have kind of alluded to it in the other completing the square video that you can find the minimum point or the maximum point of graph. And it's referred to as the vertex. So here we go, this is number 1. Express the following in the completed square form. Use your answer to find the vertex of the graph. Y equals all of this. So basically we can ignore the fact it's y equals, and we can just open up our bracket, x plus 4 all squared, and then minus 16, because you square that number, you take it away, then add that 10. Okay, so our completed square for this one is x plus 4 all squared minus 6. It's that simple. Get good at this and watch the other video and you'll understand that a little bit further. I went through it quite quickly now, I know. But that's because I've already done a video on it. Now this one for the completed square, for the vertex, is using the completed square. So we're going to get our brackets, we're going to have an x value and a y value. That is going to be our minimum point because that's a positive 1 that's in front of that x squared. So this is our minimum point of the graph. This minus 6 is the y value. Okay, so whatever that number is that you get there, that's always your y value. And whatever number makes this bracket equal to 0 is your x value. So that would have to be minus 4 because that's a plus 4. That's minus 4. And that's it. That's how you get your minimum point. It is that simple. Okay. Moving over to question 2, we've got 2 things to do. Express this quadratic in the form of nx plus a squared plus b. This is just saying that there's going to be a number in front of the completed square. Okay, and I'll put that there in the kind of starry shaped thing at the top. So general form for a harder quadratic when you're completing the square. Take the factor of 2 out of each of the terms. That's what we need to do, is what it says over there. So take the factor of 2 out, open up the bracket. That's going to be, x squared plus 4x plus 5 divided by 2, 5 over 2. All right, now we can complete the square for this. You don't always have to deal with that 5 there. You could leave that out of it all and then just remember it at the end, but I'm just going to deal with it all. All right, I prefer doing it this way. It's my favorite way. Love doing this way. So 2 multiplied, what am I talking about? We're not multiplying anything back through yet. I haven't done anything. I'm going to complete the square for this. So 2 has got to be on the outside. Then I'm going to open a big square bracket because I'm going to put this normal completed the square bit in its normal bracket bit. So I'm going to half the x term there and then square that. Then I'm going to take that answer away from the outside. So 2 squared is 4. So take away 4. And then I'm going to add that 5 over 2, add that 2.5 on as well. And then put that in the big square bracket. Now I'm going to collect together this bit and just write it out again. So 2 and then x plus 2 all squared. That's going to give me minus 3 over 2 or minus 1.5 if you want to write it as a decimal. Let's write it as a decimal this time. And then multiply each of the terms back through by the 2. Now this x squared plus 2, sorry, not x squared plus 2, x plus 2 all squared, that is one term. So multiply 2 by all of that is literally just written as 2 multiplied by x plus 2 all squared in its bracket, and then multiply the minus 1.5 by 2, and that's going to give you minus 3. Okay, and that's it. We've done our harder completing square business there. There wasn't too much to do with the fractions, but you might get more to do with fractions, in which case you're going to have to really be good with your fraction rules if you haven't got a calculator. If you have got a calculator, of course, just use your calculator to do the stuff with the fractions you need to. Now we've got to state the coordinates of the turning point of the curve. which is the same equation as this, or this is now an equation here. This is the expression that we've got, same expression, basically the same thing, right? Almost exactly the same. Well, it's exactly the same thing. So minus 3 goes there. What is going to make that bracket equal to 0? It would be minus 2, so you put minus 2 in there. Okay, that's our minimum point again. Now, moving over for the third question, which is probably going to be the hardest thing that you do. So solve this. Now this is the same thing as what I've got in question 2, so we don't have to do another one, right? But we need to solve it this time and give our answer in the form of a plus root 6 over b, which all looks quite complicated. But let's see what we can do. So let's just take our completed square from question 2, 2x plus 2 all squared minus 3, and make it equal to 0. Then we're going to take away the minus 3, so adding 3 to both sides, and there we've got all of this still left on this side. The next step would be to divide everything through by 2, okay, because there's a 2 in front of all of this. So we're going to divide it by 2, it's going to be 3 over 2, and then that's x plus 2 still all squared. And this is the bit where you're going to square root. So square root gives us 2 solutions, positive and negative, root 3 over 2, and that's x plus 2. And then we're going to take away the 2. X equals minus 2 plus or minus root 3 over 2, which is a slight problem because it feels like we've finished, but we haven't, because it's not in that form. We haven't got that answer yet, right? So we've got 2 solutions here. I'm going to split them into their 2 solutions. So I've got minus 2 plus root 3 over 2, and I've got minus 2 minus root 3 over 2. That's awful 3 there, but there we go. Right, and then I'm going to show you what you can write root 3 over 2 as, right? And this will be understanding surds, because this is a surd, isn't it? Minus 2 plus root 3 over root 2, okay? This is how we can deal with this. And to deal with that, what we're going to do is we're going to rationalize the denominator. Watch the last video that I made, number 78, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, that's going to be minus 2 plus 3 lots, root 3 multiplied by root 2, which would be root 6, and then that would be over 2. Now, this is a whole number, which we can put over 1, all right, and therefore we can add these fractions now. That's negative 2 over 1. These denominators are not the same, so we can't add them yet. Let's make them the same. So we multiply this first fraction by 2. That's going to give us minus 4 over 2 plus root 6 over 2. And notice I've done nothing to this one yet because it's just going to be exactly the same with a negative in the middle. So now we can do minus 4 over 2 plus root 6 over 2. All right, and that's just going to be now collecting together what we've got there, then making it all over 2. So minus 4 plus 1 root 6, so plus root 6 over 2. Okay, and that actually is one of our solutions. There's nothing we can do there. So a value is minus 4 and the b value is 2. There's nothing more to it. There's one of our answers. So this is exactly the same thing as what we're doing there, right? So minus, I'll just do it again so you can see what I'm going to do. Minus 2 minus root 3 over 2, root 3 over root 2, minus 2, and let's put it over 1 straight away, minus, and that's going to be root 6 again, because root 3 times root 2 is root 6, and this one's going to be just over 2. Make the denominators common, so minus 4 over 2 minus root 6 over 2, and then the other answer that we're going to get, and let's just put or, and that's x equals those two things, or minus 4 minus 1 root 6 over 2. Okay, and we can't divide everything by 2 because that's just 1 root 6. If it was 2 root 6s, we could divide everything through by 2, but it's not. All right, so there we go. That's it. There you have it. That's the whole of the algebra section covered. If you watch it from start to finish, which will take you probably about 7.5 hours, maybe. That's not a long time, really, in the grand scheme of it. If you're doing some revision and you've learnt these things, right, in your class, and you kind of want to go over it, 7.5 hours worth of revision for all of algebra, I think is pretty decent. I'd be happy to do that if I was a student these days. So please do click my link in the description bit to do some practice on these questions. Please like and comment and share and tell people about these things, and let people know that you're learning things if you are. Please don't tell anybody that they're rubbish videos, because that would hurt my feelings. All right, so please, 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 please be lovely. All right, and I'll see you for the graph section.